The sun beamed gently through the large bay window of the quaint little cafe in Savannah, Georgia. It was mid-morning, and the streets outside bustled with locals carrying coffee cups and small-town charm. Inside the cafe, nestled in the corner by the window, sat a woman who turned heads not because of extravagance, but because of something people couldn't quite place. Her name was Lillian Hart, and at 61 years old, she looked barely over 40. With silver-streaked curls barely peeking from beneath a straw hat and soft lines gracing her face like a well-loved novel, Lillian had long grown used to the compliments. "You cannot be a day over 40, strangers would often say. But what people didn't realize was that Lillian's youthful appearance wasn't about flawless skin or a particular skincare routine. It was something deeper, something hard-earned. That morning, as she sipped her coffee, her granddaughter Emily came bounding through the cafe door. Emily was a curious, confident 22-year-old college student with a camera slung around her neck, always chasing the next story for her journalism course. "Grandma!" she exclaimed, planting a kiss on Lillian's cheek. "Sorry I'm late. My professor kept us over to talk about our next big assignment, unraveling a mystery behind a person's life and telling their story in full." Lillian smiled, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "And who's the lucky subject?" Emily slid into the booth and grinned. "You." Lillian raised an eyebrow. "Me. I'm no mystery." "Oh, come on," Emily said, opening her laptop. "You look 20 years younger than everyone your age. People online are obsessed with this stuff. Jeans, routines, green tea. But I think there's more to your story, and I want to know everything." Lillian chuckled. "You might regret that request, sweetheart." And just like that, Emily hit record, and Lillian began to tell the story that had never made it to Instagram or beauty blogs. Because looking younger than your age, as she explained, didn't just happen. It was made, through pain, choices, and a deep understanding of life. "I was born in 1964, Lillian began, in a small town outside Nashville. My parents were old school. My mama believed in hard work, and my daddy believed in silence. We didn't talk about feelings much, and there wasn't any room for softness. But from the time I was little, I knew something. They carried a weight that made them age early." Emily nodded, watching closely. "When my mama was 42, people thought she was in her 60s. Daddy's back bent early. His eyes dulled, and even in their smiles, there was something missing. I asked once why they looked so tired. Mama just said, 'That's what life does to you, Lily.' I didn't want that to be true. So Lillian learned early. Life could either weigh you down or lift you up, depending on how you carried it." She told Emily about her first heartbreak, how at 18 she fell for a boy named Caleb Monroe, the town mechanic's son. Handsome, charming, and reckless. Lillian loved him the way only teenagers could. But one rainy night, he left a note and disappeared. No explanation. No goodbye. "I cried so hard I gave myself a fever," Lillian said. "But then I looked in the mirror and realized something. My eyes had changed. Pain shows up in your eyes before it shows up anywhere else." Emily paused the recording. "So you're saying heartbreak can age you?" Lillian nodded. "It can. But here's the twist, it doesn't have to. If you let it grow you instead of bury you, it gives you depth, not wrinkles. So I decided that night. I wasn't going to let anyone steal my light." She focused on healing, journaling, taking long walks, helping others in need. She volunteered at the hospital for 3 years straight, and it taught her something. Joy was found in service. That peace did something to her face. It softened it, lifted it. "Then came marriage," Lillian said. "I married Thomas Hart when I was 27. Good man. Quiet, dependable. We built a life together. But life wasn't always kind. At 39, Thomas was diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer. He fought bravely, but by 41 he was gone." Emily's eyes welled up. "I never knew Grandpa." Lillian smiled sadly. "You would have loved him." And again there I was, looking at grief in the mirror. This time she didn't cry every day. She prayed. She painted. She traveled, something she'd never done before. I met women in Italy who danced in the streets, barefoot and laughing at 60. I met a 75-year-old potter in Peru who made art like a teenager discovering life for the first time. These people had a glow, not because they'd escaped pain, but because they'd embraced it. Emily was fascinated. So that's why you always say, joy is a choice. Yes, Lillian said. It's not denial. It's defiance. You refuse to let the world harden you. That's the secret. Emily asked about skincare, nutrition, all the surface-level questions too. Oh sure, I drink water, eat my greens, take walks. But none of that matters if your heart is bitter, Lillian said. Resentment will age you faster than cigarettes. Forgiveness. That's the real wrinkle cream. She told her about the year she almost gave up. 50, she lost her job. Her house needed repairs. Friends moved away or passed on. But she clung to small joys. A good book, a stranger's kindness, watching the sunrise. That habit, she explained, rewired her brain. And that affected her health, her smile, her presence. If you look younger than your age, Lillian said, leaning in, it means you haven't let life break you. It means you've learned how to carry your scars with grace. It means you still laugh, still love, still hope. Emily stared at her grandmother in awe. That's beautiful. Looking young isn't about looking perfect. It's about looking like you've loved life back, Lillian said. I still dance barefoot in my kitchen. I still cry during movies. I still flirt with the cashier at the grocery store just to make him blush. They both laughed. Emily turned off the recording. Grandma, this isn't just a story. This is wisdom people need. Lillian took her granddaughter's hand. Then promise me you'll pass it on. 'Cause it's not about vanity. It's about vitality. About staying curious. Kind. Grateful. Later that week, Emily uploaded the story, accompanied by photos of her grandmother laughing, gardening, dancing in the backyard with a hose on a hot summer day. The video didn't just go viral, it sparked a movement. People commented from all over the world. This made me cry. I lost my joy and didn't even realize it aged me. I'm 48 and I just danced in my kitchen because of this video. Thank you, Lillian. Now I understand. Aging isn't the enemy. Bitterness is. Lillian never expected her story to be watched by millions. But more than anything, she was glad her truth helped others feel seen. Years passed. Emily graduated and became a respected journalist. And every birthday, she'd ask her grandmother the same question. What does looking young really mean, Grandma? And Lillian would always say, it means you still have wonder in your eyes and softness in your soul. It means you never stopped living, no matter what life took from you. In the end, Lillian didn't have a face without lines, but she had a spirit that danced beyond time.